Just who do you think you are, cutting in front of me like that, huh? You've really got some nerve, do you know that? I mean, who even are you anyways? The cleaning staff or something? Why the heck is some old hag like you even here in the first place, huh?
I'm sorry, but what is this all about? I don't even have your number saved in my phone. In fact, the one who should be asking questions around here is me. For instance, why in the world did you throw that plate right at my head?
I'm just glad that my aim was dead on. I was almost scared that it would go flying past you and hit someone else. But you can really only blame yourself for getting hit with that plate. I mean, I didn't have any other means of getting rid of you. And you still haven't answered my question about just what you think that you were doing here in the first place anyways. So why don't you go ahead and answer me first instead? I mean, seriously? You were holding a mop. Are you even invited to this thing? Are you part of the cleaning staff here? Or did you just try and break into this wedding and thought the mop would make a good disguise?
I will have you know that I am invited to this event and I am supposed to be here. I've done nothing wrong at all. So what I want to know is why you threw a plate at my head just because I walked past you. That was completely uncalled for.
Maybe next time you should watch where you were walking, and especially who you're walking around. You really had some nerve just walking in front of me as if I was a nobody. Don't you know who I am? I really wish that sometimes we all had to wear badges that showed how important we were, so that then losers like you would be forced to reckon with how useless you are compared to winners like me.
What in the world are you talking about? I'm serious. Is there something wrong with you? Should I call someone to come here and take care of you or something like that?
Oh, well, I am just so happy that you're thinking of my well-being. But I don't need anyone's help for anything. Thank you very much. But if anyone around here needs their head checked, then it is you for thinking that you could just walk into front of me and cross my path like that. Next time, remember your place and don't ever get in my way again. Do you understand me? I won't be asking twice, and the punishment for next time will be 2 times what I gave you.
You're just a guest at this wedding too, right? Judging by where you're seated, I'm going to guess that the groom is just your boss from work, right? So why in the world are you acting so uppity and self-important at a wedding that isn't even yours to begin with?
And just who do you think you are to be talking to me like that, huh? Haven't you realized that I'm the better person than you in all of this? Don't you realize you're fighting a losing battle? After all, you were holding a mop. I don't care if you were invited. You were clearly just brought over to clean up once everyone is done. Maybe next time I'll throw some wet rags at you so you can clean even better.
Honestly, what is the matter with you? So what if I was just a member of the cleaning staff here at the wedding venue? You still shouldn't treat people like this. But I think you've given me more than enough information to know exactly what kind of person you are.
And now you're trying to tell me that you're not just another member of the cleaning staff? I suppose it really doesn't matter what your job is here. Everyone here from the office is beneath my position anyways. But I guess that's what separates me from all the other rubes. I'm the only one here who realizes that in this world, it's eat or be eaten. Clearly everyone else is too busy being eaten to smarten up and live like me.
Right, yeah. You are exactly the kind of person that I think you are. And that is not a good thing, let me tell you that much.
Whatever. You just watch yourself next time. Or else. Got it? Because you're already on thin ice being such a poor loser and showing up to a wedding like this. Anyways, I made quite the mess when I threw that plate at your head earlier while you were walking in front of me. So why don't you find a broom and clean it up? Huh?
You know that you're not going to get away with this, right? I'll make sure of that.
Oh, yeah? And just what are you going to do about it, huh?
Hey, Tina! Are you okay? Where'd you run off to?
I'm sorry, I'm in the changing room right now. I just needed to set myself straight after all that happened. And I think I also just need to sit down and catch my breath before I change my clothes.
Are you sure you're okay, though? I mean, I heard the sound of a plate breaking and people screaming, and I was really, really worried.
I really am okay. Thanks for asking, though. That was just all the doing of Rosalin. Can you believe that she threw a plate at me?
So that's what happened. But wait, why in the world would Rosalin do that to you? What was she trying to accomplish?
I think she was trying to hit me with a plate. And I think that she did accomplish it. I guess she thought that I was a member of the cleaning staff for her company or something like that. I didn't realize that I was crossing her path, though, and that's why she got upset and did what she did to me. But I'm just glad she didn't hit me somewhere where it could have been really dangerous.
Yeah, that's good at least. But still, I can't believe that she would do that to you. That's totally crazy! And I just feel so bad that I couldn't do anything to stop her at all.
Well, I think we should just be grateful that nobody else got hurt in that little stunt of hers. Maybe some people's suits and dresses got hit with food, but that's still better than suffering any kind of injury. And you really shouldn't be blaming yourself for any of this, you know? I mean, I also feel guilty for knowing that a girl like that works for the company.
I know. But now that I know what caused all the commotion, I think that she and I will have to have a little talk. I mean, I was really excited when we hired her on, but I had no idea that she was such a loose cannon. Here I thought we were really being able to count on her.
Well, I guess sometimes these kinds of people make it through the interview process, don't they? But anyways, she still seems to think that I'm just a member of the cleaning staff. She keeps ordering me to clean up messes around the venue.
What's the matter with her? Doesn't she realize that she's acting like a child in front of all her colleagues who are also at this wedding right now?
I just don't even know if she realizes that what she's doing is bad. I mean, I don't think she even has that level of self-awareness. But all that she is doing right now is just sabotaging herself in front of half the company she just got hired to work for.
You're right. And we can't let her get away with this, especially after she tried to target you for one of her attacks. I can't just sit back and do nothing about this. I mean, especially not when it's a big special day like this. We can't let her make it all about whatever she wants it to be.
I appreciate how worked up you're getting, Ivan, but I'm just grateful that I and no one else were injured in all of this. Maybe you should just take a breath and try to calm down before the wedding starts. Don't you think? Like you said, this is a big special day and we shouldn't let what some crazy lady does ruin it, right?
You might be right about that, Tina. But just, please be careful. I would hate for something else like this to happen today.
Well, I am sure that if Rosalin had any idea about who I really was, that she would feel really foolish about what she just did. I really can't believe that you actually did that. I mean, really? What is the matter with you? Literally, how did you even make this big of a mess in the time that I was away? I just don't get it. Don't you realize what a mess you're making here and what a bother you're being to everyone else here? Don't you have any shame at all?
The only one who should be ashamed here is you. Of not doing your job as the cleaning lady, that is. Now hurry up and start cleaning this place up right now. After all, it is why you were invited here, right? You're just here to be a cleaning lady and nothing else? Now chop chop, get sweeping.
You know, it really, really pains me to have to do this on a day like today, but you really are leaving me with no other choice through your behavior. I am not going to be cleaning anything. In fact, you made this mess, so you are going to clean it up right now.
Are you crazy? Have you seriously lost your mind or something? Just why in the world would I do your job for you? You're the cleaning lady, and I'm the real employee. So when I point to something and tell you to clean it, I don't want to hear any back talk. You need to shut up and do as I say. You are cleaning staff, and it is your job to clean. Do you understand me?
I really just don't even know how to deal with someone who thinks like you. I mean, why is all this cleaning falling to me anyways?
I thought I told you that I was getting tired of you talking back to me. I told you that your job was to listen to me when I say something needs to be cleaned, and then clean it. Don't you know that I'm a fast track to the top of this company? You're nobody compared to me, and it's high time you showed me some respect. You should be lucky that you still even have your job after all of this talking back to me that you have been doing. Now, If you want to earn a living in this world, you'll get your mop and start cleaning.
It sounds to me like you're really, really happy about getting your job at this company, aren't you?
And just who are you to make that kind of claim about me, huh? You don't know me. Just shut up and do your job already. I've never had to deal with help as rude as you.
You really are full of yourself, aren't you? But are you sure you know who you're really talking to right now?
You make that sound like a bad thing. Of course I'm self-confident when I'm dealing with little peon nobodies like you. You're literally no one. You have no idea what I've had to do to get to where I am. I graduated at the top of my class with amazing grades, and that's how I got my job at one of the largest companies in the whole country. Besides, I have plans for my section head. After all, he's not bad on the eyes, and I'm sure that if him and I got together, we could make sure that our careers went exactly the way that we wanted them to. After all, you know what they say, right? To get ahead in life, it's all about who you know.
But I just mean that you sound so confident that all those things are going to come true for you. Of course, it's important to have good grades and a strong resume, but you know that companies care about character as well, right?
Just why is a little worm like you talking to me about my character, huh? You don't know a single thing about me. Now, why aren't you on the floor with a rag cleaning up the mess that I have ordered you to clean up several times now?
I'm not cleaning because I've already told you that I won't be, and that you are going to clean up the mess that you made. Now, take responsibility for what you have done and start mopping.
You think that I'm going to clean up that mess? That's rich coming from a little cleaning lady like you. You must really be stupid or something. Besides, where's your proof that I made this mess, huh? Don't you realize just how lucky you are to even be here? The least you can do is clean up to show your gratitude. After all, the real reason you were invited was probably just to clean up after everything is done here.
Are you sure about that? You sure talk as if you know everything that's going on around here, don't you?
And just what's wrong with talking like that if I do know everything that is going on around here? Huh? You really need to learn who you're talking to. I mean, just what was the CEO of my company thinking, inviting a loser nobody like you to his wedding like this? Sometimes I just don't know what goes on in that head of his.
Well, I have a few hunches of how I might have ended up here. But the one that seems the most likely is that I'm here to marry my fiancé.
Wait, what? What is that supposed to mean? Is there a second wedding going on here or something like that?
No, nothing like that. It's just that your CEO who is getting married today had to be getting married to someone, right? Anyways, if I were you, I would really start getting to cleaning up that mess of yours before it's too late.
Whoa. I still don't get what it is that you were trying to tell me with all of that. I mean, is your head okay? Are you just living in some kind of dreamland or something like that?
I guess you really don't know as much as you think. I would ask some of the other guests if you don't believe me.
Oh, trust me, I will. I'll ask them if they can believe that a lowly nobody like you actually thinks that they are going to marry the CEO of my company. In fact, maybe I'll go up and ask the CEO himself, and then we can have a long laugh about how delusional you are.
Yeah, that's a really good idea, actually. Why don't you go ahead and do that then?
Hi there, boss. This is Rosalin. I just wanted to thank you again for inviting me to your amazing wedding. I really am so happy to be here. But I just had one little question for you. Who is it that you are going to be getting married to today? I don't think that I even know who your fiancé is.
What the heck are you doing messaging me right now, huh?
Boss, I said it was me, Rosalin. You know who I am. I'm only trying to ask about who it is that you are going to be marrying today since we are all here for your wedding. Because I was talking to this crazy cleaning lady from our office, and get this. She said that she was supposed to be the one marrying you today. I told her that she was crazy, and she told me to go and ask you.
Oh, I know exactly who you're talking about. And yes, she's gonna be my wife.
Wait, what? What do you mean by that?
I take it that wasn't the answer that you were looking for, right? But it's true. She's my wife, and I'm very proud to be marrying her.
But Oh, hold on a second. I don't understand. What's going on here? This doesn't make any sense at all.
What doesn't make sense to me is why you think that you can treat my bride the way you've been at her own wedding. Don't you have sense of shame about yourself at all?
But I mean, this still isn't adding up at all. So then, you're the CEO of a company and you're going to marry some cleaning lady?
And just what's so wrong about that? Do you have a problem with my choice of spouse or something?
No, of course not. There's nothing wrong with wanting to marry whoever you love, of course. But I guess what I'm really confused about is why you two are getting together in the first place.
You said so yourself, didn't you? Because of love. I don't think that I need to explain myself any more than that to you, do I?
Right, no, of course not. I mean, I'm sure that she's a really wonderful person, of course, but well, don't you think that you'd be better off marrying someone a little closer to your status?
You really are showing everyone just what kind of person you really are today, aren't you? But there's something you should know. I, as CEO of this company, think of all my workers in equal light. Though everybody may have different jobs, get different wages, and have different regulations, I want everybody in my office to be able to get along. Or at the very least, treat each other like equals.
Of course, I think it's totally reasonable as the head of a hierarchical structure to think that just wanting equality is enough to overcome material differences in livelihoods.
Well, of course it can. That's just how the world works. But what I want to know is why you had the nerve to throw that plate at my fiancé!
You mean that you heard about me doing that?
Just answer the question right now. Don't you know that you have to obey whatever your boss tells you to, even outside of work?
Well, the reason I threw the plate was because I had no other choice. I mean, that's not it. It's because my hand slipped. That's right, my hand slipped.
And that's really what you want to go with? You just want to say that your hand slipped and that's all that happened?
Yes. I mean, of course that's what happened. I was there, so I should know, right?
I see. Well, I think I know all I need to know in that case.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean that you know all you need to know in this case? What are you going to do? Tina, are you there? I just wanted to say that I am so sorry for what I did to you. I really had no idea that you and Ivan were engaged to be married. I had no idea that you were my boss's fiancé. I really don't care at all about your apologies, Rosalin. But I want to know who is going to pay for all the damage that you caused. The damage that I caused? What do you mean the damage that I caused? And what do you mean who is going to pay for it? I don't get what you're trying to say.
You mean you really think that breaking plates, wasting food, splattering people's clothes with bits of brunch are all just going to be swept under the rug? I don't think so. Especially not when it's clear that you've done no reflection on your actions at all.
But of course I reflected. I came to apologize to you for what I did because I didn't know who you were, did I?
Not only that, but you also stained the carpet of our wedding venue with the mess that you caused. And even though the carpet is probably the least expensive thing that you'll have to pay for, just know that you will be charged for that as well.
But then how much money am I looking at having to pay? And are you really going to make me pay for every little mess that happens at a wedding?
I would say you're probably looking at about $250,000 with all this? And that's only including all the messes that you made. Did you think that making a mess in a place like this was going to be cheap? Have you seen where we are right now? But you didn't care. You just wanted to live in your little fantasy world of hierarchy where you can treat people however you want. Wait, please. I just hold on for a second. I mean, how do you even know how much all of this stuff costs? Why do you know how much it would cost to clean a carpet like this? Well, that's because I own this venue. So I should know what everything costs. Wait, what? What do you mean by that? I don't get what you're trying to tell me. What does that mean that you own this venue? That doesn't make any sense at all. Well, let me break it down for you then. Before I owned this place, it belonged to my mother. Then when she died, I took over the family business of running this place. Of course, I have other jobs, but also have a staff under me who I can use to help me get the things I need done. Although I am just a bit of a clean freak, so I hope that you're not too surprised that I know just how much it costs to clean up messes. So then, when you were walking around earlier with a mop... I know what you're thinking. Why on earth would a bride be mopping at her own wedding? Why would she be doing that when surely a place like this has a staff that would be able to handle messes in a second, right? And yet, after I went at this place with a mop, there wasn't a single square inch that wasn't sparkling. Well, I guess now that you mention it, this place is pretty clean, actually. That's right. But I also helped clean because I hate the idea of others doing something for me that I can do myself. It may be my wedding, but that doesn't mean that I'm some glass doll who can't function on her own. I wanted my staff to see that I mean it when I say they're all equals in my company. Besides, more than anything, I'm just a little bit of a perfectionist, and if things aren't done to my specifications, then I won't be happy. But I've learned that the best way to make sure that happens is just to do the work myself. But I suppose that someone like you has never thought about actually doing something for yourself, have you? It's clear that you expect people like those who work on the cleaning staff to clean up after your messes and take your abuse on top of that. You really are one of the worst kinds of people. Do you know that? You're what's wrong with the world! You mean I'm what's wrong with the world because I look down on people? Are you kidding me? You literally hurled a glass plate at me because you thought I was a cleaning staff member who walked in front of you. I really don't know what else to say except that you're a terrible person with a terrible worldview. I've met plenty of selfish people in my days, but you have got to be one of the worst. Okay, I'm sorry, jeez. I'll pay whatever the damages are. I know you will. That was never up for debate, Rosalin. Of course. So then... So what? Well, I was just hoping that you could tell Ivan that I thought about my actions, realized what I did was wrong, and agreed to pay for damages. If you could just tell him all of that. I see what's going on here. You think that you're going to be fired for this, and so you want me to talk to your boss for you. Is that right? Come on! I already said that I would pay for everything, didn't I? Oh, and you will pay. Trust me. I am going to make sure of that. But who knows? Ivan really is a bit of a pushover. You might be fine. You mean it? That's amazing. Thank you so much. Sorry, you didn't let me finish. He might let you off the hook, but I won't as upper management of the same company that you work for. In fact, as head of HR, I have significant power in choosing who does, and doesn't, have a job here depending on their behavior. And I'm afraid that you've proven yourself to be a terrible employee. And for that reason, we have no choice but to fire you. No, wait, hold on. You can't actually be serious about that, right? I mean, you're not really going to fire me after I already said that I was sorry and going to be paying for all the damages, are you? Of course I'm going to fire you. It's clear that you haven't really thought at all about why what you did was wrong. And you were going to pay for what you did either way. You are never, ever going to get out of paying for the damage that you caused. And then when you have paid for everything, I'll fire you. It really is quite a simple process if I'm being honest. But come on, don't you think that you're taking things just a
little bit too far with all of that?
I really don't think that I've even started to take it nearly far enough for what you deserve. And you should know that I have significant pull in this town. Lots of people know me at all the companies that you might think to job hunt at. So I suppose that you might have some real trouble in the job market in the future?
You mean that you would really sabotage my whole career just over this? That's taking this whole thing way too far now.
Oh, don't worry. I'm sure you will be able to find another job in another field. But you are going to be put on a blacklist in this industry until the end of time.
You can't be serious about that. Please, you have to forgive me. Don't do this to me, I'm begging you. This can't be happening to me. I refuse to accept it. How did it all come to this?
Well, it all came to this. When a bride at her own wedding walks past one of the guests there and the guest decides to assault the bride with a plate. I think it's pretty clear to see who is in the wrong when you take a step back and look at it like that. Can't you?
But, I mean, please, you have to at least talk to my supervisor. He knows how hard I work for this company and how much I've given. Please, you have to talk to him at least once before you fire me. I know that he'll stick up for me.
And you really think whatever he has to say is going to trump all of the security footage of you throwing the plate at me and making a big mess all over the venue?
Oh, wait, what do you mean by that? You mean that there was a camera that was recording me the whole time when I threw the plate at you and when I made the mess after you left the room? Are you saying there's footage of me doing all of that?
That's right. And while I'm sure your supervisor might be at pains to see you go, the fact of the matter is that we can't be encouraging this kind of behavior among our employers. So I'm sorry, but I really don't see how anything you might be able to mention would ever change my mind about what I'm about to do.
I had no idea that a fancy place like this, dealing with hundreds of customers and guests day in and day out, would have security cameras installed. That's just... it's unthinkable.
And it all means that no matter what anyone says, there is always going to be that hard evidence against you. Now I don't want to ever see your face again. Do you understand me?
Wait, please, don't do this to me. This is taking things way too far. I mean, you're talking about ending my career. You can't do that.
Are you sure about that? You are more than welcome to try and stop me. But if you really think that that position is everything when it comes to working in this company, then you already know that you don't have a chance. After that, Rosalin tried asking her supervisor to step in and try to save her job. He put up a fight and begged me not to go through with my decision, citing all the hard work that Rosalin had put in since she started at the company. But when I showed her the footage from the wedding, he didn't have anything else to say. So, Rosalin was fired from her job. She ended up moving back in with her parents, and I hear that she was becoming something of a recluse now. Although I can't blame her, since after she was fired, she found out that I followed through on my promise to blacklist her from every company in our industry. And to think that she might have had a really great career waiting ahead of her. If only she didn't get a huge ego and think she could treat people however she wanted to. I hear that she ended up finding some part-time work at her parents' requests. Though I can hardly imagine with pride like hers lasting in a job like that long. As for Ivan and I, after we chased off Rosalin from our wedding, things finally calmed down and we were able to proceed with the ceremony without any further incident. In fact, after she was gone, many of the guests came up to me and apologized to me for not doing anything about Rosalin before. I told them it was fine and that I understand just how scary a woman like that could be to approach. In the end, I was just happy that everyone was safe and that my marriage was able to happen without any further incident. Thank you for watching! If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.
Are you going to be able to come tomorrow? If so, I'm really looking forward to seeing you again.
I'm still planning on coming tomorrow. I heard you had yourself a really beautiful house built, right? I'm sure that even Faye is really happy about that now, too.
Well, this is what Faye had dreamed of happening, so of course she's happy about all of it. If she wasn't smiling about the new house, then I'd really have no clue what she wants and would probably go crazy trying to figure that out.
Have you already gone and told her that I'll be coming over as well tomorrow?
I let her know once already. I said that you'd be around, even when I have my meeting. But I'll do my best to leave a lot of time open to you when you're around, so that we can all talk. We can talk more about all of that later on, as I'd really like to continue talking to you about those things from earlier.
Understood. I'll be coming by myself tomorrow, okay? But I'll make sure that next week I bring everything we talk about up with my leader and we'll discuss things.
Alright, thank you, Gianna. Although, having to be helped by someone like you is a little embarrassing for me.
What are you talking about, Gage? I'm your little sister and want to make sure everything goes well for you, just like you'd do for me if I needed the help. We siblings have to stick together in times like these, right?
Hearing something like that from you really warms my heart. But I still feel as though I should be the one responsible for my company. And now having you around helping me, I need to be more diligent in getting good results.
I'm hoping for that as well for you. But you're my older brother, so you'll be all right. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to seeing you tomorrow and seeing that new house. Gage is having a problem within his company and has gone to resolve the issue. So he won't be back home until after you've already showed up here, okay? That's what I'd heard from him as well. He made sure to tell me before I got into my car. I still plan on being there at the time I told you both yesterday. Is that all right with you still? I heard from him that you're going to be the one to show me around the new house while he's out at the office. But if he's going to be coming home later today, then I can wait for him, or even possibly come over another day if you'd like. What do you want to do? What are you planning to do by coming over to our house? Huh? I heard from him that you're planning on staying the night here and whatnot. But do you think you'll actually be getting anything from us just because we're both well off? Let me tell you right now, if you come into this home and start stealing from us, you're going to be in very deep water. What? Can you slow down for just a minute? Why are you starting to talk about me as though I'd be coming over to steal anything from you two? I have no reason to be stealing from you both, right? I'm just coming over to hang out and talk with the both of you as well as see the new house you both have. Well, think about it, Gianna. You're nothing more than a dirty janitor, right? Excuse me? And all janitors are both lowlifes and moneyless. And now that you've heard that your brother is a CEO, you think you can come over here and take our things? If that's what you're thinking, I'd like you to stand back and rethink your plans. Gage is my husband now, right? He doesn't have the time to take care of moneyless slobs like you anymore. Hold on a second, Faye. I think you have a bit of a misconception of me or something that's making you say all these things. Actually, I don't even know what you're trying to infer about me right now based on all that you've just told me. There we go. You can't even make up a good excuse. You know that I'm right about what I've said about your plan, and now the only thing you can say back to me is that I'm the one with a misconception and that I'm wrong. Well, to start, can you stop looking down on me for being a janitor like that? I'd like to know what's so bad about being a janitor in your eyes. It's due to janitors that the inside and outside of buildings like your husband's are so clean and well kept for everyone working in them. And for the most part, those that work for a cleaning and janitorial company are usually very proud of the work they do and want to do their best. What are you going on about? I feel bad for all you freaks that only have enough brain in you to clean the toilets of complete strangers all day long. The fact that you all are so daft that you can only make money from work like that is just depressing. Your brother ended up being the CEO of a very well-regarded company, yet somehow his little sister had to turn into a crap cleaner. That's so unfortunate for him. When I married him, I never knew he had a tragic little sister like you working a gross job like that. Tragic? That's a bit rude of you to say to me, right? Well, anyway, I'll be arriving at your house here soon, so we can talk more about all of this in person and hopefully clear all of this up. I think you have a misunderstanding of me, so I'd like for that to all go away with a quick explanation from me about who I really am and what my intentions really are. You sad sight! How does it feel to have toilet water thrown all over you like that? If this has taught you anything, then get out of my house and never come back here again. I am appalled. I heard that you were a pretty tough woman when it came to being nice, but for you to actually act out like that towards your own sister-in-law? I only came here today to celebrate my brother moving into a brand new house, but you're telling me that you threw all that toilet water on me just because I'm a janitor? What the hell were you thinking, Faye? I doubt that by asking you that I'll get an answer that I can understand, but I have to ask you at least once. Of course, a lowlife like you would never be able to understand any answer I gave you to that question. Now, to be clear, the reason for all of that was because a lowlife like you thought you could come into this beautiful house of mine. Your beautiful house? That's the house that my brother built, right? So what? Whatever he calls his is also mine, right? I know that you were having a pretty good time splashing all that water onto me and are feeling on top of the world right now, but you're going to regret all of that real soon. Why should I ever regret what I've done to you? I was just protecting my beautiful house from a beggar like you getting in here. You actually think I'd let your lowlife butt in here? I don't care that you're my sister-in-law, Gianna. I had to throw that water on you to keep you from taking any of my money and things. Then I'll be halting my transfer of any more money to you guys. We don't need whatever money you think you have. And actually, what the hell do you mean you've been giving us money? Do you actually think you can do something like that for us? You are aware that my husband runs a very well-off company, right? Well, I'm sure you don't understand the whole picture right now, but I really didn't expect you to be this blind to what's all been going on around you. Huh? What are you talking about right now, Gianna? I'm going to do just as you've asked and head home. But be aware that the money I've been giving your husband to keep his company from becoming a burning mess will stop. Do you really expect me to believe that you've been giving my husband money to keep his company afloat? I'm going to let him know right now that you've gone home. And please, never come around my beautiful house ever again. I don't have time to cater to scum like you. Understood. I wish you good luck after this. What do you want with me now? Things have changed. Do you think you can start heading back to my house? No. Why the hell would I come back there? What makes you think asking me a stupid question like that after what you've done would be such a good idea, And what do you mean things have changed for you? Before, I didn't believe a word you'd said about the current state of things regarding you and my husband. But when I told him that you'd gone home already, he was furious. He kept saying I really screwed him over big time. He's on his way home right now in a panic, and I want to know what I should do about him. Why are you asking me what you should do right now about him? Why the hell is Gage freaking out so much right now? To tell you the truth, I am the owner of a cleaning services company, and for a while now I'd been working with my brother to support his company with funding. I'm assuming that he's really worried about all of that right now. Huh? You're the CEO of a cleaning services company? I sure am. I see that you had been confusing me for just being a simple janitor this whole time, but I'm not the one cleaning and doing all that work. Rather, I'm the one running the company that employs people to do that work. And as for my brother's company, it's been on the brink of collapsing for a bit now, and I'd been planning on helping keep him afloat. And as for me coming over today, the reason was for me to talk with him about what to do next regarding the money I'd been handing him and his company. Of course, I was also coming over to celebrate you both moving into that new house, but the main reason was to talk business. No, there's no way that should be true. You're supposed to be some low-level janitor, Gianna. Your brother even told me that you work for a cleaning services company. And that's not wrong. The only difference is that I don't just work for the company, but run it as well as the company's CEO. How many more times do I have to repeat that to you for you to understand me? I get that a long time ago I had been working as a janitor and all, but that was just to learn about the field I'm working in and to understand how to run a company like this one. Is that so? I never heard a thing about any of that. So you're telling me that all of this was just a misunderstanding between us? No matter how you try and think about it, you did misunderstand me. But you having had little idea about who I actually am has nothing to do with me now. Because as of now, I can see that you're totally okay with throwing toilet water all over me because you thought I was a janitor. Well, that was just because I had a misconception of you, a simple misunderstanding. Normally, I'd never actually do anything as rude as that to anyone. You could even call that a joke of sorts. I just assumed you were coming to steal things from us, and that since you were supposedly a janitor, the whole splashing toilet water over you would be a good form of defense. I think a person like you won't have much more of a future anymore where you're still married to my brother now. Huh? What does that mean? I'm saying that after this, I don't think you and him are going to have a successful future together. I doubt he's the kind of guy to allow a witch like you to be by his side. Actually, I know a guy like him won't allow that. I don't really get what you're talking about, but I'm saying that now that my brother and I have a good idea of the person you truly are, we're no longer going to want to have anything to do with you. And really, I don't even have the will to help him with his company any longer, so I'll make sure to let him know that here. Hold on a sec, Gianna. You're joking about actually telling him what happened between us, right? He's already furious with me about sending you home, but if you go telling him about the reason for that, he'll explode and take me down with him. And none of that is anything I'm worried about at the moment. Gianna, let's take a moment to let the air cool between us and talk this over again, okay? How about we both just forget about everything that happened earlier? I'm calm right now, Faye, and the air has remained a very comfortable temperature for me so far. And unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to forget what you just did to me. You literally threw a bucket of toilet water in my face when I walked through the door and started laughing at me when you saw my face. Only those with the most twisted of souls would ever do that to another person over them having a job as a janitor. You really want me to forget that? Think about it. There's really no way to forget any of that. I told you that you're wrong about that. Please listen to what I've been trying to tell you. I really had no clue that you were such an amazing person before I did all of that to you. I just had the idea that you were some failure that's had to live life working as a scummy janitor was all. What I did to you back then was all due to the thought that you were nothing more than a lowlife. Oh God, you think that I'm going to follow your reasoning for all of that? What you're telling me is that you really do hate those that you deem to be lowlives, including janitors. Huh? That's not what I meant by that. Well, with that kind of thinking, you've basically just told me that you hate everyone that works for me in my company, and that they're all scum and have no money. You wouldn't want me telling all of them that now, would you? I'm really confused right now. What the hell are you thinking, talking about people that you know nothing about like that? I'm sorry. I didn't think that you and my brother would be getting this upset with me over what I said. It's just, when most people think of a janitor, they think of someone working a pretty low-level job and someone that's never graduated from college. I'm sorry that my thoughts got to me so easily. But now I can see you're not some low-life scum, but a very successful CEO. So you don't have to worry because I'd never look down on someone that runs their own company and has a lot of money from it. So can you calm down now? I'm your friend, after all. You must not understand the definition of friend, then. Because to me, and anyone else looking at this situation, you're anything but a friend to me. And at this point, I've already let my brother know about everything from today. Huh? What do you mean by everything from today? Well, I started by telling him about how you threw a bucket of toilet water on me, and then about how I will no longer be helping him by funding his company. I also made sure he knew that as long as you're with him, I'd never come around him again. And that he would no longer be getting any kind of help from me ever again. Why would you tell him things like that? You're making me look like the bad guy for some reason. I'm not sure why you ended up the way you are, but after what you've done to me today, I think it's totally acceptable of me to label you as a bad guy of sorts. I told you I understand, though, and I'm apologizing to you now, right? Why are you being so heartless towards me after all the effort I've put into apologizing to you? Are you telling me that you don't want to make up with me after that? What do you mean by us making up? And do you think after all you've done to me, a simple apology is going to get me to forgive you? We're not kids anymore, Faye. You even ended up saying terrible things about the employees working for me, so I'm definitely not forgiving you for that, as I'm sure none of them would. Now, if you want to discuss what's going on right now some more, you can wait for Gage to get home and talk with him. I have nothing left to say to you now, so that's that. Wait a second, though. Gianna, this is all really messed up, right? If you leave things the way they are, I am 99% sure that Gage is going to kick me out of this house. And I'd have to say that that'd be the correct choice when it comes to handling you. Are you kidding me? Why would you say something like that now? Was what I did really that bad? I think you're going a little overboard by saying all of that crap about me. Come on and do something about this, Gianna. Right now, our marriage is on the line, and you're the only one that can do anything to save it. Don't you want to help your brother stay happy? The only reason for your marriage being in danger is due to you being a terrible person, Faye. Now figure something out and try your best to avoid losing your husband. You already told me that I'm not allowed around your house since I'm a lowlife. But if you're thrown out by my brother, that must be because you're more of a lowlife than even me. That would only be fair though, right? Since you made that rule up. Are you really going to say things like that? I apologized for cleaning your face off with that toilet water already, right? I promise I won't say anything bad about you anymore regarding your job, okay? So please, just frickin' forgive me. No thanks. But hey, this all matches exactly with what you said about me. I'm a lowlife, and letting your marriage fall apart is definitely something a lowlife would allow to happen. At least I'm not the one that'll be going through hell here soon, so have fun, you witch. In the end, Gage made his way back home with his face beet red, telling Faye to get out of his house without even giving her a chance to retort. Once he had her outside, he then went and locked all the doors and proceeded to grab all her things and toss them out the window for her to take. Then the following day, he began the process of divorcing her. Faye hasn't had a job of her own for a very long time, and so her pockets were empty leaving that house, and has since been on the streets trying to figure out what to do next. But this is all well-deserved after all the horrible things Faye said and did to Gage's little sister Gianna. Luckily for Gage, after he had gotten rid of and divorced Faye, Gianna came back to him and said that she'd continue to help fund his company. I'm sure she never wanted to threaten him with ending the flow of money to his company, but it was the only way to get him to throw Faye away, which needed to be done after what she'd done to Gianna. Anyway, Faye is going to be on the streets for a long time now following these unfortunate events. But hopefully, while she's going through hard times, she begins to learn the importance of everyone, even those that she considers low lives, like herself.
How are you feeling about meeting my parents tomorrow before our wedding? Are you worried at all about how things will go?
That's right. I am very worried about it, and it's got me feeling like I have butterflies in my stomach. This will actually be my first time ever meeting your parents in person as well. I really hope things go over very well for me when they get to see the real me.
Well, about that whole you meeting my parents thing tomorrow, my dad might just be a little bit rude with you at first, or at least he'll be coming off that way. But you don't have to worry about him at all, as that's just who he is. Just listen to what he has to say, and then you can ignore it forever after tomorrow.
Huh? You think he's going to be coming off a bit rude towards me tomorrow? What will he be doing to me?
Well, you could say that both my parents are a bit stuck in the past. And when it comes to one of their kids getting married, they may see that as a little lonely for themselves. And I feel that because of that, my dad may be a bit of a hard butt towards you. Actually, I can already imagine what he'll say to you. My dad is the worst of both my parents. He's really thick-skulled.
Is that right? I didn't know that about either of them, actually. They have put in a lot of work raising you into the young man you are now, so I'm sure they want you to be with someone who treats you just as important. I understand. I'll do my best not to worry about what he says to me.
Just know that the fact that you and I are pretty much married now makes me super happy. And I think the two of them understand that very much as well. And I'll let them know that's how I'm feeling again, when we go out to see them both.
I'm assuming that your dad is the type of man that'll be happy to see that his son is happy with me. That's why I'm not all too worried about that.
Well, I'm not worried about him. Being happy over me being happy is the thing.
Wait, what do you mean by that?
Well, just make sure not to be too outgoing about yourself tomorrow, okay? I don't want to have to be left with having to explain everything about you to my mom and dad.
I know that, and I promise I won't speak too much. That stuff shouldn't really be talked about anyway in front of both your parents when this is supposed to be about our marriage and wedding.
Well, as long as we're both on the same page about that, then I'm good. I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
I'm feeling just as excited and also a little worried still. I hope everything goes over well with them both.
If you want to stay out of trouble, you're never to come over to my house again. I don't want you anywhere around my son either, alright? What were you trying to do, you lowlife? Getting that close to my son?
I never actually expected that you'd have that kind of a behavior today around me.
I acted and did everything any loving father would do for their son.
You feel that spilling scalding hot tea onto your son's fiancée right after they both decided they would get married was something a loving father should do? You're saying that other fathers do the exact same thing to their sons' fiancés?
You're acting like it's not common sense. I'm not going to listen to someone with the least common sense about whether I have it or not. Have you still not realized just how far you are from having even an ounce of common sense in that head of yours? Did me pouring all that hot tea over your head still not open your eyes to that reality?
To be honest, I have no idea what all of that was about, Thomas. I literally don't have a single clue as to why the father of my fiancé would be so upset with me that he'd do something like that.
Ethan was using my family's money for someone like you.
Excuse me?
Well, I'm not going to let my son feel as though he can make you his wife. I will not allow the marriage of you two to happen. I've already told Ethan about all of this, so there is nothing left you can do besides leaving my family alone.
Ethan seemed to be really upset with what you did to me and pretty speechless.
But in the end, he has always listened to what I tell him, so there won't be any problems there.
Do you really think that's going to be the case for you two? You really expect him to give up on wanting to marry me?
I do. You think that he's going to let you marry him now, after what I told him? Well, I guess you would think so, since you have no common sense in that head of yours. But, if you thought about it with just a hint of common sense, you'd realize that nobody is going to want to marry somebody who is $200,000 in debt.
Huh? I'm in debt that much?
Did you think that I'd never be able to find out about that? I think my son tried his hardest to make sure my wife and I would never be able to see that. But we both were able to guess that you have something wrong with you. And it so happens that something is you being in extreme debt.
Hold on for a moment, Thomas. I understand that you want to think something like that of me, but you have it all wrong.
You can only get so far trying to make me think that I'm the one that has it all wrong. You are $200,000 in debt, all right? That kind of debt is not something somebody can easily hide from others. And what makes all this worse is that to pay it all off, you've been trying to get my son to take the family money and give it all to you. What a witch you are. I'm already trying to decide whether my family should sue you for something like that or not. But Ethan keeps telling me to stop thinking like that. My son really made a stupid mistake by bringing you around us. But even if he didn't see you were using him, my wife and I have. And we don't want you here.
Do you think you can stop it with all these horrible comments you're making about someone you don't really know? Do you even care to listen to the truth from me even right now?
Stop it! I don't want you anywhere near my son ever again, you hear me? If I hear that you've been around him again after today, I will really take you to court and sue your butt!
Sue me? And how the hell do you plan to sue someone like me? You'd have to have rock-solid facts about me first for the judge to even want to listen to your claims.
I wanted to ask something of you as well. I'm not sure at all about how you were able to get my son to come to your indebted side. Did he really think it'd be alright marrying you when you are $200,000 in debt? I will not be allowing any more talk about you both getting married. So get out of my house, right now!
Your son is the one in debt right now, Thomas.
What?
And also, I've been out of your house for a long time now. What the heck are you even going on about right now? Since you've already come this far claiming I was the one in that kind of debt, to the point you'd pour hot tea on me, I'm totally over wanting to be around you all. I'm totally fine with my engagement to Ethan being done with. But in return for no longer being able to marry him, I want my money back.
What the actual hell have you been going on about with those last few messages? The only one with any debt right now is you!
Nope, not me. I'm really not sure whether anything I'm saying is getting through that thick skull of yours, but the only one that's been in any kind of debt has been Ethan. Now how about you go ahead and talk with him about it instead of me?
You idiot! There's no way on earth that my son is in debt!
Also, we had planned with this marriage that I'd be able to pay off all his debt, and in return, for the rest of the time, he'd slowly be able to pay me back for doing such a kind thing for him. That was our deal.
Huh?
Both of my parents happen to have a lot of properties, and they both know about how your son has been in debt this whole time. At first, they didn't want to let him marry me, but then they realized that we're both still young and can find a way to handle the debt. So they helped out by giving some of their money to him as a start to paying off the debt.
Your parents have that kind of money? And you're telling me that they're helping with paying off that $200,000?
That's absolutely right. And we had all worked so hard to make this plan up, and I thought we were all totally in the clear. But now you're trying to blame me for being the one trying to take money from your family?
Well, he was telling me that he wanted to pay you back with some of the money.
And that was all a huge lie by him. I'm not the one in debt, and he still has to hand over the rest of the money at some point. Why would someone like me, who was born into a wealthy family and has had everything she ever wanted while growing up, be in such great debt and need the help of someone else's family to pay it off? My parents would help me in a heartbeat if I really needed money.
So then, wait a second. My son's been the one in debt this whole time?
I have been trying to tell you that this whole time. I understand that you didn't want to blame your son and wanted to think it was me. But do you really think that I'd be lying to you about him being the one in debt when I'm the one choosing to marry him for his sake? If you took a moment to think this all through, you'd probably get what's been going on here.
I can sort of see now what you're getting at. But my son has really been the one in debt this whole time? I really cannot believe what I'm hearing.
He's already gotten $200,000 or so from us, but there are times where he still asks me for money for God knows what. He might be sick or something, thinking he can just keep borrowing money and expect someone else to pay it back for him. Well, I'm not going to work with him anymore, so he'll have to find someone else to help him out now. And if you still don't believe what I've been saying, let me grab my parents and have them show you the proof. I'm through with all you guys, and this marriage that Ethan and I wanted is no more. This is all wonderful for you, right? In the end, you were able to get things exactly the way you wanted them.
Wait a second. All of what you've said to me has been a little off. Actually, it's all completely off from what I thought and heard.
And that's why I'm asking you to talk with your son about all of it. I'm tired of having to tell you all about what's been going on with your own son. Everything I've said so far has all been true, so just deal with him now, please.
I just spoke with my son about it. And you are right. Everything you've said to me all seems to be very sound. I might have happened to think the wrong things about you, but can we both agree that this is all your fault for acting in a very odd way around us?
What? What the actual frick are you trying to say now? You think I was trying to act all out of line or something in order to make you get the wrong idea of me? Your little shut-in of a son was the one that chose to never tell you the truth about himself sooner, which led to you thinking it was me. And when you found out about there having been $200,000 of debt, you automatically blamed me for it, and that's why you drenched me in hot tea, right? Yet since finding out the truth, you still haven't apologized for that and are only trying to make things even worse than they need to be.
You think I should be the one to apologize to you?
Well, who else should be the one to do it, You were the one that dumped that tea onto me for no reason, and you think I'm going to ask your wife to apologize to me for it or something? Get real, Thomas. I'm not even the one that's in debt. If anything, I'm your guys' knight in shining white armor that saved you from all having to pay off your own son's debt.
Well, I never knew anything about you and your parents doing that. I was just fooled by whatever my son had been lying to me about this whole time.
So how about instead of trying to blame me for you not knowing that he was the one who was in debt this whole time, you blame him. He was the one lying to you about it, and that's what led to you thinking I was the problem. Well, at this point, it doesn't really matter who you blame anymore. The marriage is no longer going to be happening, and that means we all want our money back in full.
Huh? You want it all back in full?
And all in one payment, please. All that $200,000 we gave to him back in one lump sum payment, please and thank you. And since it doesn't seem like Ethan will be the one paying us that kind of money right now, it seems you'll have to be the one to take responsibility for it.
Hold on for 2 seconds, Lisa. What are you even talking about right now? You want somebody to pay you $200,000 in one payment? That's ridiculous!
Well, my family and I have been the ones giving that money to him. But now that Ethan and I are breaking up, we want that money we lent to him back right now. And if he's not going to be able to give that money back to us, then it's up to his family to take care of it for him, right?
But that's a whole $200,000! You think my family has that kind of money lying around? I told you that it was my son using our money to pay you back, right? So we don't have that much money to give you right now. If you would have just thought about that first, you wouldn't be speaking like an idiot right now.
Thought about it first? I'm sorry, but you never did think before throwing that tea onto me, right? So I'm sorry, but I'm no longer going to think of anything while considering your guys' unfortunate situation now.
But I'm telling you that right now, it's impossible for us to pay you back. We have no money in our savings, even amounting to that large of an amount.
Then I'll get a waiver ready for you to sign saying you are indebted to me $200,000. And later my lawyer will be over to confirm it and have you sign it.
What? A lawyer?
I have a feeling this will need to be taken to court at some point, and if that has to happen, you'll also need to pay the court fees once you're told you need to pay me that money. I suggest you find a way to get that money to me really soon, okay?
But a lawyer? And you want me signing things to make my debt to you official? What the hell is going on here?
I'm expecting that you'll pay me that $200,000 very soon here. And to make sure that you don't run from it, I'm having your debt be watched by the court system. And when it comes to the amount I'm asking for and the reason behind it, I'd like that money back in one full payment, please. So please get that money together for me.
I can't be signing some kind of document like that over $200,000! Other people will begin to find out about it, and I'll really be in hot water!
I'm sure that right now your face is going ghostly white. To think that the person you just spilled hot tea all over happened to be the same person saving your son from all his debt. Really, your son is the one at fault for ever getting into that much debt in the first place, but after you played along with his crap, you're going to be the one taking the brunt force of his debt.
Lisa, I'm telling you that I had the total wrong idea about all of this. It was just an unfortunate mistake on my part.
Oh, I know that. I know about all of that very well.
I really just thought that you had to be the one with all that debt, and that's why I behaved so horribly in front of you. But really, this is all my son's fault. You can't blame me for any of it, right?
I can't? What are you trying to say to me right now, Thomas?
I want you to just get back together with Ethan now, and then you and I can talk this over some more. I feel like that's the best idea for all of our sakes.
No, that's not going to happen now, so I have to say no.
Huh? Why can't you do this for us?
You think after the way I've been treated by you and Ethan, I'd just let it all go into the past? You know dang well that's never going to happen. You poured really hot water all over my head and never said sorry for it. And then you continued to call me the low-life loser for being in debt that I don't have.
And having heard how you feel about that, I'm truly sorry for my behavior. I didn't mean for any of that to be mean towards you. Let's just think about our futures now and get together to talk things through seriously. I really made a mistake by not understanding things, right?
Shut the hell up and understand this, you old idiot. No matter how many times you ask for me to do anything for you now, the answer is a big N-O. I don't even want to be married anymore now. And having to imagine being family with you guys makes me want to throw up. Trying to make things not look as bad as they were is not going to change anything for you. I want that $200,000 in one big payment, and I am going to make sure you are held to that standard.
Wait a second, though. Even Ethan wants to apologize now. You still want to be with Ethan forever, right? Just get back together with him and become close to us as your family again.
Jesus Christ, man. I can see you've totally started to lose it, so before I start saying things that would be seen as a bit suspicious, I'm going to go. It's over for you, Thomas, and I want you to tell your son that as well. If you don't have the money to pay me, then sell your house tomorrow or something. Goodbye now, Thomas. Sucks that you're the one that'll be stuck with your stupid son and all that debt of his now. In the end, Ethan was in tears and tried countless times to get me to make up with him. But my love for him was long gone now, and I was not going to listen to his want for me anymore. Thomas tried to talk to me with his son to get me to come back, but I told him that he's only solidified my choice even more, and that it was game over for the both of them. And soon after saying that, my lawyer got in touch with him, and after that I never had to get another text from either one of them again. Ethan tried to tell his dad not to get in the way of things anymore, but that only pissed Thomas off even more with him. And right now, their whole family is in shambles. As of right now, Thomas is freaking out trying to get the money together to pay me back that $200,000. And I have to say, I am so happy I never married into that crappy family. I know that right now things may not be that great for either one of those two, but maybe once he's paid me that money I wanted back, Thomas might realize he needs to kick Ethan out of his house and then never bother anyone else ever again.